What's going on, world? This is JHouze Radio, episode 2. Your boy KJ back in the building with your boy Los, brother from another mother. How's it going, man?
It's going good, dude. Can't complain, really.
So, how was your weekend so far?
Busy, just with a lot of nonsense, really. Well, I can't say a lot of nonsense. It was just, you know, uh, just busy.
Yeah, I've been pretty much busy with just promoting the show and things like that, and just picking up some news topics and just pretty much just working on that mainly right now. Working on like the social media aspect of things. So pretty much what I've been doing.
For me, it's more crap in the house and trying to get in DJ gigs because they are drying up badly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the time of the year. Like if I didn't have a Halloween party booked in September, I'm not going to get anything in October. So then November's kind of a weird time of the year. Then comes December, so you're hoping for office parties. And then January, there's nothing. February, maybe you might get one or two, and things start up again in March.
Oh, yeah, true. Because everybody wants to stay in the house. Nobody really wants to go out that much, like when it starts getting cold. So,
No, it's not even that. There's just no holidays. Think about it. What do you really celebrate in January?
yeah, true. I mean, not unless you're trying to do like like New Year's party or something like that. But that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, but New Year's is usually booked like a year in advance, 6 months in advance.
Oh, yeah, true.
Other than that, in January, all you have is like Martin Luther King. That's it.
Yeah, true.
And the only thing anybody does with that is go out shopping. That's messed up, man. Think about
it. Yeah, I know. All right, so we're going to start off with our news segment today. We got a few things I want to bring up. First thing, for some of my gamers out there who are into Fortnite, PlayStation has finally decided to do crossplay with Fortnite right now, which means PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Switch owners can pretty much all play together. I think that's a pretty much a pretty big deal, considering the fact that Sony was the only platform that really didn't do crossplay on any platform, not even just Fortnite. And I think as far as gaming, I think that's a really big deal for gamers because it's going to open up a doorway to have more games kind of cross-play with each other and hopefully have all the consoles play nice with each other. Probably not. But
no, it makes good business sense for them all to play well together.
Yeah.
Because what they want people to buy the game. What's going to make you play the game more? What's going to make you buy DLC? What's going to make you buy expansion packs?
Yeah.
Is the fact that you can play with 1,000 people. A good example is you and me. I'm a big Xbox fan, and you're a big PlayStation fan. And so for there was a while we couldn't play together.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that kind of kills it sometimes because it's already hard enough to buy one console, let alone buying two just so you can play with your friends or your brother, sister, and things like that. So I think that will kind of open up the fact of having more people play, like you said, because now I could just have my console, you can have your console, and if we decide to play a certain game together, I don't have to go out and buy that console just to play with you. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I think that definitely opens up, something big, for the industry. So
not only that, it opens up the idea of more MMORPGs, online.
Oh yeah.
Because now, hey, I could play for the sake of argument Warcraft on my PlayStation, on my Xbox.
Yeah.
You might want to do that too.
Yeah, true. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's good for everybody. It's good for the consumer. It's good for the business. So I think it's good that Sony finally got their head out of their ass and, decided to play along with everybody else.
I think the problem with Sony is they feel the pressure from the other companies.
Oh, yeah.
And they're realizing that the days of, splitting your customers is very much going to be over very soon, especially now that you can kind of stream your game online.
Oh, yeah. I mean, streaming is definitely coming up. I mean, we talked about that last episode, so it's only a matter of time, man, before it actually starts to take over. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I definitely know that next, maybe if not this episode, maybe next episode, I want to talk about streaming and distribution and things like that, because I think that's a good topic to talk about because there's so much to talk about because the industry has changed from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and today, where things are just not what it used to be.
Oh yeah, no. Another thing I also wanted to bring up. I know we talked about it. I think we talked about it last episode about Toys R Us going bankrupt. They just recently, I think they put out a post or something on the news last week stating that they're not going to file bankruptcy now. So now they're deciding to try to revive the company, try to revamp it. I'm not sure if we talked about that last episode or not, but
we touched about it briefly because Toys R Us is still functioning normally in Canada.
But since they're not going bankrupt now and they're going to try to bring it back, like how do you, in your opinion, how do you think they're going to do that? Like, what do you think is going to make it successful for them to try to come back to compete with Target and Amazon and things like that?
How many retail stores are left in the U.S.?
I think they're done. I think their last one was in New York. I'm not sure, but I think they're completely done because I remember going shopping at Toys R Us just a few months ago, actually. And they were pretty much saying that there's only like a handful of stores left in the U.S. So,
because I'm on their website now, and I knew they were going to keep an online presence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew they were going to keep an online presence because Jeffries LLC assets has been acquired by its secured lenders.
Oh, so they did sell. I'm gonna check that out actually too, because I know I just saw a few days ago that they said that they weren't gonna sell it. They were gonna just try to do like a revival.
No, it looks like they sold the company to somebody. Yeah.
Unless they sold it, but they're still trying to revive the brand name. They sold it just so that way they can try to make money to try to bring it back alive. I don't know. It's pretty weird.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what they did with Circuit City, not too long ago. It looks like somebody bought Toys R Us, and they're going to try to bring it back.
I think the best way for Toys R Us to survive nowadays is probably going to be the online market. I think that's going to be the best way for the simple fact that a lot of physical stores for a lot of companies are closing now, and a lot of it is due to the fact that people shop online more than anything. People don't really go to stores anymore, especially when it comes to toys and things like that. If they can just order it online, they're pretty much going to do that, especially when it comes to the holiday season, Cyber Monday, So I think if they're going to come back, their best bet is going to be to do an online store, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is, Amazon changed the way business is done, period. Everything is online now because Amazon was just kind of like the end all be all.
Oh, yeah.
But they first started out with just books, and they went from books to microwaves to God knows what. Hell, you could buy everything from freaking anal lube to like Band-Aids on Amazon. It's freaky.
Oh, man. Yeah, I pretty much get everything from Amazon at this point. I order my contact solution. I order tools for the house. Like, I literally just buy everything because nowadays, all of us, like people, like we're working, we're busy, we got families, and it's kind of hard to take time out of your day to get up and go run to a store when you got to worry about making dinner. And like, it just makes it so much more easy if you can pull out your phone, order your medicine from Amazon or order your whatever you need and then just be done with it. And it's at your house in like 2 days,
Yeah. It also changed the way it kept the post office alive.
Oh,
because the post office is delivering stuff. Oh, yeah. FedEx is like huge. UPS is even bigger because of it. But I don't know. I mean, I like Amazon and I hate Amazon all at the same time.
Well, why do you hate Amazon for one? I'm curious.
Because sometimes when you try to do a simple search, it shows the weirdest things,
Oh yeah.
And then and you try to look up the prices to narrow things down. And it's gone from, like, there's some, like, I'm exaggerating to make a point, but, like, it says, oh, brand new, it's $800. Used, it's $36. And you're like, what?
Yeah,
and then once you start going, yeah, and then once you go into the used section, it almost feels like you're on eBay,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one thing that I don't like about Amazon is their search engine. It is kind of weird because it's easy to find stuff, but yet it's also hard to find stuff. It's kind of like a double edged sword,
Yeah,
basically.
you have to be very specific to get things on Amazon.
Oh yeah, for
I,
sure.
I started buying stuff on
I
on
heard about
Wish.com.
Wish. Yeah, I never used that one before.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it, it's best if you're looking for knockoff brands. You
Okay.
know, like if you want a GoPro but can't afford a GoPro, so you get a knockoff GoPro.
Hmm.
Perfect.
More gaming news from Wall Street Journal. They just released a statement saying that the Nintendo Switch is going to be releasing a new Nintendo Switch console by next year. It's more like a soft, like a hardware upgrade, basically. They say that they might upgrade the screen, try to get better, like resolution and things like that. I know you don't have a Switch, but I have one, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to that because I pretty much love the Switch. The one thing I complain about the current model is that after playing for more than, well, like in my case, playing for more than like maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, like my hands start to get kind of sore because I have big hands. And I wish that the Switch console actually had like a better type of like grip to it, basically, because it just gets really uncomfortable after you're playing for like so long. So I hope that that's one thing that they correct with the new Switch model is to have like a better grip, maybe like a better screen. So I'm looking forward to
How come you never got the external controller?
that. Oh, like the separate controller that you can buy that you can like connect to it or something
Yeah,
like that.
it looks like an Xbox controller.
Yeah, I thought about getting that, but I mainly play my Switch in handheld mode. I rarely dock it. I pretty much just like to play like on the go. So I got these little grip things that kind of connect to it a little bit, but it's still not enough grip. So I'm just hoping that that's one thing that they fix. They give it more of a, kind of like a controller feel because I feel like you're
Right.
holding a long tablet playing, and that after a while it just gets really uncomfortable. So I'm just hoping that that's one thing that they fix with that. So,
See, my girl has it, and I started playing Skyrim on it.
oh
I
really?
thought it was okay, but I played a lot of the classic games, like the classic Atari games or whatever on there.
Yeah.
And yo, I love it, but I keep getting sick and tired of losing at Gattaca.
Oh man, that game destroyed me back in the day, man. I couldn't do it. I could never beat that game.
You
But
know what? One game I wish I could find a game called Pengo. It was made by Sega, and it was a little penguin that ran around the board killing these snow bees that went after it.
oh really?
Yeah, it was like one of these nonsense games like Pac-Man, like like rinse and repeat each level.
Oh man.
Um, but I love the game, and I can't find a good a good version of it anywhere. I can't even find a good ROM of it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about some of the old school games. Like the older games get, it's gonna be harder to find them because a lot of these game companies are closing out these like emulator websites, and a lot of people just usually download games from the emulator websites. But since so many are getting closed down, it's harder to play old games, and it's harder to even find old games pretty much anywhere, honestly. So, but yeah, like the Switch to me is one of my favorite consoles. I love the fact that I can play old school games on it, and I can take it pretty much anywhere. You can take it on a flight, you can take it on a train, and you can play old games, you can play new games. So I mean, that's what I love about the Switch so much. But I just hope that like I said, if they do come up with a hardware upgrade, that they do it right and just fix just fix the hand, like just fix like the handles on it, make it a little more comfortable. So
Well, I just don't think it was designed and marketed for you in mind. I think it's more
yeah,
designed and marketed for like the 11, 12, 13-year-old kid who needs to be entertained 24/7,
yeah.
you know. But let me tell you something. I think it's a genius design.
Oh yeah, it's
Genius
awesome.
design.
Freaking awesome. I mean, I think to this day is it's probably one of my favorite consoles. I mean, it's an awesome design. They kind of had that idea when they came out with the Wii U, because they had that little like portable controller with the screen on it that you can transfer your game from the console to the little like portable thing.
Yeah.
And the Wii U was what the Switch was supposed to be, and they pretty much like perfected that idea. And I think it's an awesome console. And yeah, they probably didn't have a wide variety of like players in mind when they made it, But I think after they got some feedback and they realized that with them coming out with these old games, you got to remember some people that were alive playing those old games are older now. Like they're not kids anymore. So they're going to want to come back and they're going to want to play those games. So, and I think they realize that. So that I think that's why they're coming out with the hardware update because they realize that people were uncomfortable with the handles and people want at least a little more power in the screen. So I think it's a perfect idea. I mean, we'll see what they do with it. So
I don't know. Like I said, I've played with it very little. I like the idea. I think it's genius. Unfortunately, it's not a lot of games for it.
yeah. Now, also in the news, we have actor Chris Evans is officially done with the Avengers. He wrapped up his last shoot for Avengers 4 about 2 weeks ago. I think he posted on his Twitter account that he's officially done, and he pretty much said his goodbyes to the cast and crew.
Well, I've heard two different stories about it.
Okay.
One, yes, he's done. Goodbye. Blah 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 blah. The other one is he's done being a main character, so he'll be a background character.
Oh, so he's like he's done, but not really done. He's just
right
back a little bit.
It all depends what they want to negotiate. Like I still think they should make him the head of Shield, and get rid of Nick Fury or have Nick Fury do Secret Avengers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the comic book, have him take care of be the leader of Shield. The man with all this integrity.
Yeah.
And if they kill him off in Avengers, then I think they're really stupid because out of all the actors in all the MCU, he was the one who really fit the part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was terrible as the Human Torch, but as Captain America, perfect.
Oh yeah, I forgot he played the Human Torch. I completely forgot about that.
And he played that terrible.
Yeah, I think that was torched out of everybody's mind. No pun intended.
At the same time, too, man, if I was him, after freaking 10 years playing Captain America, being a multi-millionaire from it, I might want to be lazy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at this point, if he didn't want to be in anything else for the rest of his life, he could retire right now. I mean, he made a lot of money through Marvel. I mean, he could just take some time off for a few years, do a movie here and there, and just relax.
I know he wants to do more directing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he directed one movie, and I've never seen it.
I might have to look into that.
Yeah, Before We Go or After We Left or something like that.
Well, since we're talking about directors, I might bring up some more news, but since we're talking about directors, we're going to segue into our main topic just for a little bit to talk about some directors.
You got it.
So, I mean, we both kind of came up with the idea of maybe talking about one director who is on top right now doing this thing and talk about maybe one director who kind of fell off. So I don't know which one you would want to take. Talk more about a director who fell off or one who's actually on top right now.
Other than oh god, what are their names? The brothers who did Civil War.
Civil War, Captain America.
Yeah.
Aren't they working on the Avengers right now? Right, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they're on top of the world right now.
Oh yeah, they're pretty much like killing it at this.
Yeah, but yo, can I talk about something like the Wachowski brothers are now sisters?
Wait, what?
The Wachowskis. The Wachowskis.
They're sisters now? They had a sex change?
They both had a sex change.
Okay. Yeah.
You didn't know about that?
I did not know about that.
Okay, now listen to me. You want to change your gender, whatever, I don't care. None of my fucking business. I don't care who you sleep with. But, no, seriously. But they did this film called, this miniseries on Netflix called Sense8.
Okay.
And it was pretty good. But what I hated was, I hate when any series focuses too much on one certain set of characters when it's an ensemble piece, and instead of, spreading everything out, they focus too much on the transgender and gay characters, and I was just kind of like, why? Why are you just focusing on them? Like,
Yeah.
it should be pretty equal across the board.
Yeah.
It's great that they had the stories in there because that is a group of people who don't get represented very often in films. But I think you do them a disservice when you focus so much on them that it's kind of a highlight. You understand what I'm trying to say? Instead of it being part of the story and part of the narrative, it feels like you're dragging this part out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a disservice, whether it's a minority through race or a minority through sexual preference, or identity. I just kind of think it's, it does them a disservice.
I agree.
Treat them like people. Don't treat them like, oh, look at the monkey in the cage, which I just think is wrong.
Yeah, just kind of, like you said, just you got to do it in a way that makes it feel normal, kind of, without trying to push it in people's face like, hey, this is not normal. Look at this. You just make it seem normal and let people take away with it whatever they want to take away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not that the characters were bad, and it's not that the story wasn't interesting. It just feels like because they put so much time on the characters, it felt like their story dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a disservice was done to those characters. And that was my problem, that they did a disservice to those characters because it just kind of dragged a bit.
Yeah.
Back to directors that are on top. I'm sorry I went from directors that are off, but
that's fine.
But yeah, man, those you know what? I gotta look this up. This is killing me if I don't look it up. Oh, I did want to ask you, what is the name of the director from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, James Gunn. Yeah.
James Gunn. Yes.
Yes.
Now, are you aware of what he said?
I think it had something to do with, was it like a homosexual joke or a racial? Like he made some kind of joke. Like that's what I heard.
Yes. I remember one of them. I don't remember. Like it was like 3 or 4 of them, and one of them was the best part about rape is when it's over.
Oh yeah. I think that was the one that they kind of highlighted as to why they wanted to let him go, because of the simple fact that he represents Marvel and they didn't want that image under their company. But I think, come on. First off, it's a joke. Rape is not funny, obviously, but it was a joke, and in comedy, and a lot of jokes are made that are really offensive, basically. So it wasn't like he came out and said, "Hey, I think raping girls is fun." You know what I mean? So I think if it was something like that, being that it happened so long ago, I don't think it should have got serious to the point where they fired the guy for it. You know what I mean?
Here's my take on it. Okay. Now, he said he was an idiot just trying to be edgy back in those days.
Yeah.
And we all have something stupid that we post,
Of course.
And I think he forgot about the fact that he posted it. But to dig through 10 years of tweets, someone's looking for him.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Someone's gunning for him.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, 10 years. So did they send somebody to look for that? That's like me going through my 10 years of Facebook posts just to find something dirty. Who has that much time to go through that many posts within 10 years, considering the fact that most people post over 100 posts probably a month, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now
come on.
Think about this too. Disney vetted him, right? So they went through his background, they went through everything else. They must have gone through, let's say, 5 years of posts, right? And in 5 years of posts, they're like, all right, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But 10 years? Yo, at that point, it'd be like, yo, man, delete that.
The only thing I can think is that something might have happened, behind the scenes, whether something was said on set or something triggered something to make somebody look for something. That's the only thing that I can think of. Because other than that...
No, I just think it's a sensitivity of the times with the Me Too movement and everything else, where something that last year would have just been looked at as something disgusting and he can apologize and kind of get out of it.
Yeah.
The awareness of sexual harassment and things like that today now puts it in a different light. It almost puts it in a spotlight. The Me Too movement is very important. It should, you know, highlight the suffering that people have gone through. It should. I mean, we need to have that out there. But once again, I just think it's the timing. If it was a year ago, I think he might have been able to apologize and work through it. But today, I just kind of think of, because things are so highlighted, it made him come off as insensitive. And he himself says he wasn't sensitive. He was an idiot. He was just trying to be edgy. And we've all trying to be edgy when we were younger or stupid or drunk.
Well, I mean, considering like you said, like the times, I mean, we are in kind of a sensitive time right now where a lot of women are coming out complaining about how a lot of celebrities, actors, musicians touched them, did things to them years ago. I mean, look what happened to Bill Cosby. He just went away for the next 5, I think it was minimum of 5 years.
3 to 5.
Yeah.
Or 3 to 7, excuse me.
Yeah, he just went away for something that happened years ago. I mean, times are really changing, man.
But not changing enough, because this idiot just got fucking, confirmed on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to dive too deep in it, but what is your take on, and like, I don't want to get too controversial with it, but what is your take on situations like that where you hear a lot of women coming out on these celebrity men about things that happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
For celebrities, I kind of take it with a grain of salt unless it's criminal charges are pressed or there's some evidence or something like that.
Yeah.
But politically, when you have a judge, a federal judge trying to get up to the Supreme Court, yelling and screaming and angry, one is a red flag, because how can you behave like that? You wouldn't allow anyone to behave like that in your court.
Yeah.
2, he wouldn't answer questions. They were like, "Have you ever been blackout drunk?" He was like, "Well, have you?" No, you're a judge. You know how to behave in court.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. And more than one woman came forward. Yeah, I'm sorry. He should not have been confirmed. But back to the actors. Look at Weinstein. It was known. It was known for a very long time that he did that.
Yeah.
McFarlane, the Family Guy. What's his name?
Let me see. What was he? Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, him. During the Emmys when he hosted, like, he flat out said a joke. He goes, "After this award, all these women don't have to pretend to like Weinstein." Because it was, seriously, look it up. It was a known thing that he did this. Is he the first to do it in Hollywood? Absolutely not. Is he the first to get caught in today's age with women being more empowered and women being more intelligent? Oh yeah. Absolutely. He thinks, oh yeah, this will go away in a little while. It's not going to go away for a little while.
Oh no, it never goes away. People might not.
Oh no, he'll be back in Hollywood. He'll be back in Hollywood. Guaranteed to be back in Hollywood. Give him like 5 to 7 years, he'll be back in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But he won't have the same clout, and he won't get away with the same shit.
I just think the way society is nowadays, man, everything is really, like, I feel like we live in a society where everything is sensitive, as far as, like, social media, films, music. You pretty much can't do or say anything without pissing somebody off or making somebody feel some kind of way. And you just have to you just got to cross your T's and dot your I's, man. Like, it's very sensitive nowadays. You can't tweet certain things. You have to be careful what you tweet. You can get fired for a 20-year-old tweet. You can get fired if somebody claims that you hit them. You know what I mean? It's just so many different things nowadays that it just makes you live your life different compared to how we used to live our life years ago, because everything is so sensitive. All right, so let's get back to our directors. I know we went from directors to freedom of speech. So yeah, are you taking the side of directors that's on top right now? Or are you taking the side of a director that fell off? Like, which topic do you want to touch? touch base
I'm
on.
gonna tell you this much. First, I want to talk about directors that fell off. Okay, and for me, a number one who fell off is Kevin Smith. Let me tell you something. Kevin Smith used to be like a John Hughes. He understood characters. He understood people. You know, I mean, he pushed him kind of a little bit to the extremes.
Mm-hmm.
But like you still laughed and you still listened to them. Like you wanted to watch these characters. But then with like yoga hoses and things like that, I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? Literally. You know? Like Zack and Miri made a porno. It was an okay movie. I didn't think it was all that great.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was all right.
Jersey Girl wasn't bad, you know. It really wasn't bad, although people like really like talk shit about it, but it really wasn't bad.
Yeah, I don't think it was as bad
Cop
as
Out.
you say it was. It was pretty good.
Cop Out was terrible.
I never got to see that one. A lot of his recent films, I never really got to see. A lot of his old stuff I saw.
Yo, listen to me. Tracy Morgan has his time and place, you know, but you can't put Tracy Morgan in with Kevin Smith. They just don't mix. You're gonna tell me this freaking guy from like Central Jersey suburbs is gonna understand Tracy Morgan? No.
Yeah, that just sounds like a weird mix.
Bro, let me tell you something. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Jersey, like hung out in like Jersey City in the worst parts of things, and I can't stand Tracy Morgan. He's a funny stand-up, but there are times like this motherfucker is weird.
Yeah, I'm not really a big Tracy Morgan fan. I don't really like a lot of his movies, honestly. I really don't.
You know, I'm not a Kevin Smith fan when it comes to his stand-up. I like Kevin. What's his name? The little guy.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yeah. I hate his stand-up. I think he's fucking a terrible stand-up artist.
What?
I can't stand this.
Come on, man. I love Kevin Hart.
It's always the same thing. The hand motion. You see. The thing is, no. In movies, I think he's hysterical. His stand-up, not for me.
Oh,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But his movies, funny. I'll watch a movie with him. I'll look forward to watching a movie with him.
Oh, yeah, his movies are hilarious.
But yeah, like I can't stand his stand-up. He fell off. He went from being a John Hughes character to understand people, understand characters. You know, got like his niche was like the. Well, John Hughes had the teenage years. Kevin Smith had like the early 20s, and then he figured out how to do like the loser 30s. You know, and it was great. It was so good, and then he just got strange. But then you put him on TV, and he's a good director again.
I don't know. I feel like certain like creative people, when they get to a certain time and phase in their life, their creativity changes. You know, it just changes. You know, maybe that's just how it is. I mean, I even noticed that about myself when it comes to like my music and things like that. Like the way I look at music now and the music that I try to create now, I feel it's totally different than what I was doing before. You know, I just think that just happens when it comes to people who who actually try to create things. I think their mind just changes over time about how they look at it. So,
and some people get full of themselves. Perfect example: Quentin Tarantino. Yo, I can't stand the whole shit ton of movies he's made. Yo, Reservoir Dogs, awesome. True Romance, awesome. Pulp Fiction, awesome. Natural Born Killers, awesome. 4 Rooms, awesome. From Dusk Till Dawn, awesome.
Oh,
then
sure.
Jackie Brown, Kill Bill I thought was so fucking overrated.
I don't understand Kill Bill. Okay, now we're getting into two guys who fell off, but I don't understand Kill Bill. I just don't like. Was that based off of a comic or something like that, or
no? It's his idea. There's this Japanese from the Shaw Brothers. They did this movie called The 5 Deadly Venoms or The 4 Deadly Venoms, something like that.
Yeah.
So he took that idea and he turned it into the characters from Kill Bill. Mm-hmm. He also mentioned something like that with that Fox Force 5 when he did in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And I just think it's just like it was pointless.
I
You
think
know?
I think what he was trying to. I felt a lot of old school kind of flair with some of his films, like Kill Bill and things like that. But I just felt like the way he tried to portray it didn't really connect with a lot of people. You know, I just felt like if he would have did it in a different way, it maybe would have came out a little better. But I felt him just trying to get back to that old school style of like filmmaking, almost putting like theater on the big screen in a way.
No, no. Let me tell you something. He's like, oh, all the '70s inspire me, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
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 okay, that's wonderful. The '70s inspire you, and this and the other thing. Hey, listen, I'm no different. Okay, '70s and '80s films inspire everything I do when I write and I shoot. You know,
yeah.
I'd rather have things done in camera than in post. All right, but at the same time, yo, he's full of shit. Like I'm sorry, like that big katana fight scene in Kill Bill. I think it was Volume 2,
Yeah, volume
or
two,
was
I
it
think.
1? I forget. Whatever it was, I was just like, oh, please cut this shit. You know?
Or the scene where he's like, "Wiggle your big toe." Like, oh my god,
Yeah, and then the whole pussy
why?
wagon. Like, who the fuck are you trying to impress with the fucking pussy wagon? Wiggle your big toe. You know, like all that. Like, just shut the fuck up. You're just so full of yourself. I'm sorry. Listen to me, man. Like, and even worse, like, the guy who played her sensei, you know, her kung fu master,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's one of the actors who was really huge in the Shaw Brothers films, right? Huge. Like I've seen so many movies with him,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, dude, you're reduced to doing this shit, bro. Bro, I've watched enough kung fu movies to know this person's got training, this person knows what they're doing,
Mhm.
and then I saw Uma Thurman, and I was like, oh my god, what is she doing?
Yeah, but then again, I think her lack of skill that was shown in the movie was done purposely for effect.
Okay, let's go back to Quentin. Okay, so Quentin, all right. Reservoir Dogs, awesome. Pulp Fiction, awesome. Kill Bill 1 and 2, full of shit. Sin City, where he directed that one scene, awesome. Uh, in the Grindhouse film when he did Death Proof, awesome. Inglorious Bastard, overrated. The Django Unchained, fucking stupid. It had great moments, but I thought it was really fucking stupid. I just really thought it just came out as like I'm angry and I want to be disgusting all at the same time. Hateful Eight, I didn't want to watch.
Really?
I've literally just given up on Quentin Tarantino. They're like a Quentin Tarantino film. No, thank you. And then when they said, "Oh, he's gonna have a Star Trek project," why would he have a Star Trek
I
project?
heard about that. I heard that this might be his last film, but then again, I'm looking on Google right now, and it says that Quentin Tarantino is doing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what he's shooting right now.
Really? So he's doing two movies? Because I was under the impression that he was doing one more movie than he was done. That's what I heard.
Well, apparently the Star Trek project is, something else he's going to work on, but he's not the right fit.
I just
He's not the right
yeah,
fit.
that like thinking about Quentin Tarantino and his style and what he's done over the years, and then you're saying, okay, he's doing Star Trek. I'm like, but why? I just can't see his style fitting into that type of universe. I just can't see it.
It doesn't fit. He's not mature enough, intelligent enough, or well enough of a filmmaker to know how to do that. I'm sorry. He's not. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. And I like Star Trek for the message that it has, okay? Which is, I'll die for you, you'll die for me, but we're going to die being equal partners, people. Whether you have green skin, brown skin, yellow skin, Klingon, Romulan, whatever it is.
Klingon.
No, I'm serious, Um, and he's not the person for it. He doesn't understand what it's like to be nice.
Yeah,
He doesn't know
can't
how to
see it,
write.
man. It's his
No.
style. I don't know. I can't even point out what type of franchise would even fit his style. Like that's how different his style is.
Oh, he'd be great for Star Wars. He'd be great for Star Wars.
What Star Wars?
He'd be great for Star Wars.
It depends.
Absolutely.
It depends on where. For one, it depends on where he's taking it. what character he's trying to follow for the main story, I think that really depends. Like if you're saying, oh, he's going to take over Star Wars for another Luke, another Luke Skywalker story, don't see it. But if you're saying he's doing, like Jabba the Hutt, all right, maybe I can see that. Like, like a Jabba the Hutt,
He
like
would be
origin story.
perfect for Jabba the Hutt.
Oh yeah,
Perfect for Jabba the Hutt.
I can see that, like an origin story or something. I can see that, but I don't know. Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek. When they mentioned that, I was just like, well, why is this happening? I feel like he's gonna destroy the name. It's gonna probably flop, but I'm hoping I'm wrong because, like I said, I used to look up to Quentin Tarantino years ago when I first started watching his films, and I would like to see him come out on top and just surprise everybody. Say, hey, listen, I'm doing something different. And if this is going to be my last film, I'm going to go out doing something that's completely different from what you're used to. And if he knocks it out the park, that'll be amazing. Like I'm hoping he'll be successful doing it. But I just don't see it. I don't know how he's going to do this. It's going to be weird. All right. So speaking of films, since we're on the film topic, did you get a chance to check out the Dark Phoenix trailer?
Yeah. And here's my take on it. Okay. Why? You're about to be bought by Disney. All your stuff is going to go away. Probably never make it out to Blu-ray. The New Mutants movie, probably not going to happen. Why? No offense to them, but why? Are you just trying to rush out the last story because, oh shit, they made this deal when they were in the middle of shooting it? That's my whole take on it.
I honestly, when I saw it, when I first heard they were doing it, I kind of felt the same way for a second. Because I thought, okay, why are we doing another film when this whole merger is about to happen in like a few months? But then again, obviously they must have shot it already like a while ago, and they just had to put it out. I think that's probably why. I think just because it was already shot, people got to get paid, and they're not going to just cancel the movie. So, I don't know. I thought it looked good. I mean, me personally, I've always been an X-Men fan. I've been an X-Men fan since I was a kid. I used to play all the video games, read all the comic books. Wolverine is one of my favorite comic book characters. So it felt good to see another X-Men movie, but I don't know if it'll be good because I don't know who's directing it or not.
Think about this though. It doesn't follow the comic book story. Remember, they went to the moon, all right? And then they depowered her and they killed her, and the X-Men tried to fight for her life. And that's not in this story. The Phoenix Force, you can literally, like, reconstruct matter. You can destroy a sun, wipe out a whole galaxy. You're going to tell me, like, Cyclops with his little I-beams is going to hurt that? No.
I mean, me personally, I'm looking forward to... I mean, being that we have another X-Men movie, I'm just looking forward to seeing them trying to revitalize the franchise because I would love to see another good X-Men movie. I feel like the last good ones we had were back when Hugh Jackman was still on the team, and like those movies were pretty good. But yeah, we're not going to drag on too much more. I know we kind of went off topic a little bit with some things, but some of that stuff needed to be touched based on. So yeah, we're gonna work on a new idea. We're going to work on trying to do seasons with our podcast. We're going to try to do 14 episodes per season. Each season is going to have a certain type of format, a certain type of topics that we may try to follow. Like, let's say if season 2 or 3, we say season 2, we're going to try to include more segments about, like relationships. Season 4, we're going to try to include more segments about politics, etc. Or our music segment for season 2 is going to be this genre or just going to follow this type of format. We're just going to try to find ways to make it interesting. So that way, all of the listeners can have a reason to look forward to like, oh, what are they going to do next season? Basically. Yeah. So season 1 is more, we don't really have a format set for season 1. Season 1 is just like the intro phase. It's just like the pilot, basically. We're just, getting used to the show, getting used to the format, and let everybody get a feel of of things and stuff like that. So, but we're going to try to experiment with this format for season 2. So, season 1 will still definitely be 14 episodes, and in between each season we're gonna maybe have like what we didn't really decide what like 3 week break or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, just to kind of kind of feed off some more ideas and take a little break, things like that.
Yeah, not only that, figure out when or if we're gonna have some guests.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, and that's the thing. We can have certain type of guests per season too, so that'll help out. So
Yeah, definite.
but yeah, so once again, I'm KJ. This is Los. Thanks for checking out our episode 2 of JHouze Radio. Don't forget to hit up our YouTube page and our Patreon page, which will be in our show notes. You want to end off with anything, Los? You got anything you want to say?
Just stick with us. We'll get better as we go along, and if you have any suggestions or anything, don't forget to contact us, and we'll try to follow up on your suggestions.
For sure. All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out, and don't forget to live life. Hey, what's going on, guys? So for today's jam session, the music portion of the show, I'm going to showcase one of the tracks that I did a few years ago, an electronic dance music track. When I first started making music, I was only pretty much doing hip-hop and R&B, and I always listened to electronic dance music, and I've always wanted to kind of dive into that field a little bit. So this track here is the first track I ever did, and it actually got a pretty good response on SoundCloud. So for anybody who hasn't had a chance to check out this track, it's called This That Ish. And I did this track maybe about 4 years ago, and I'm still pretty proud of it. And to this day, I still do not only hip-hop, R&B, and different genres of music, but I also, to this day, still do electronic dance music. So check it out. Hope you guys enjoy.
This that shit.